Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right, now let me get this up on my phone. This up on my phone. All right. So we are good. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning. It's exciting to see you here today. Tomorrow's the big day where you're going to be sharing. I'm so excited. So, as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know you're here. Sometimes I can see and sometimes I cannot. Let's see. All right. Cool. Well, this morning, let me back up. Yesterday, I had a guest on my podcast, and it's so funny how sometimes you know who someone is basically, but you completely you lose. How do I know you, kind of thing. And so I had a guest on my podcast yesterday that I had reached out to her because she was one of the instructors, I guess. She instructed a workshop on a spiritual retreat that I went to. And good morning, Wendy. Oh, okay. Nice. So I had reached out to this woman because, like I said, she had been instructed a workshop at that retreat that I went to, and man, oh man, it was amazing because she's an artist. But what she helped me to do was unlock a piece of me that was so let's see, so structured in my art that it had to be a certain way. And if it didn't look exactly like the picture or it didn't look exactly like it was in my head, I thought I had done something wrong. And so she was amazing in helping me kind of see that it was the feel of the art was more important than what it looked like. And if you put the feel into it, over time, it really gets to be something else, you know? And so she was on my podcast last night and we recorded it last night. Hopefully I'm going to I've got several in there that I've recorded and I have not um, put them out yet. And so I'm looking to be able to get that done this week, all the ones that are there. And I've got another one I'm recording tonight. So I'm lagging a little bit late, not necessarily late, but I typically get them out pretty quick. But I've just had a lot of things on my plate, and I haven't done it. So they're there, they're sitting there waiting on me to put all the information in. And so when I was talking to her last night, one of the things that came up in our conversation actually is what brought me to the affirmation and journal prompt for today. And it's that we were talking about how the things that we do, like for her, it's her art. And then and we've talked about this a little bit in our group recently, I think. So if she were to create art and then put it in a box in her closet, then she is getting her gift out, but it's a lot bigger than that, right? I mean, she has this amazing gift, and then she would just be keeping it for herself, even though she would be utilizing the gift that God gave her, right? And God gives us these gifts so that we can share them with the world. So it's bigger than us, right? And as we were talking last night, I remembered that one of the I went to the school that I went to for life coaching, health coaching, and the transformational coaching. They had a retreat that I went to, and excuse me. And on that retreat, they gave us these stickers, or not stickers, but buttons. And I've just spent a few minutes trying to find my button, but I couldn't find it. But the button says, "It's bigger than me." And it's because when we have a gift or a talent, or we learned how to do something and we just hold on to it and we don't do anything with it, then we're not using our gifts and our talents in the way that it should be, right? But it's bigger than us. It's it's so much bigger than us because there's somebody that needs what we do, right? Even no matter what it is. And maybe you can teach people how to fold sheets. I don't know. But the thing is that somebody needs what you've got. And so it's imperative because it's bigger than us. And we were talking last night too, and I told her, I said, I'm sure this is very unpolitically correct, but instead of um, talking about the ripples in the ocean, what I was talking about, and those of us that are a little bit older, good morning, Carrie. Um, you might remember this commercial years ago. There was this commercial on TV, and it was about STDs, right? So it showed this couple hugging and kissing, and you could tell they were about to get intimate. And so the whole thing was, you're not just getting in bed with this person, you're getting in bed with whoever they've been in bed with and whoever they've been in bed with, right? And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I feel like it's that way with us, not necessarily, not the same thing, but when we affect someone's life, like if I've affected your life, Wendy and Carrie, then something that I say or do actually gives you the ability to say something, do something that helps somebody else. And then they turn around and do the same thing and they help somebody else. So it's this residual thing. And it's like the commercial had like just picture, and then it would be picture, and it was like these lines, and by the time they got finished with the commercial, right, the whole screen was full of these little tiny pictures of all these people when this person was just getting in the bed with this one, right? And so I like to look at it as every time we talk to someone and give them some kind of inspiration, or we talk to someone who needs something that we do, like whether it's teaching them how to fold sheets, right? Or it's helping somebody believe in themselves, whatever it is. Ripples, yes. Whatever it is, each time we do one of those things, it's like, just envision, like, if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins virtual event, I mean, there are screens along the wall, the whole place, right? And little bitty pictures all over the screen of the people that are there to listen to him, right? And I'm not saying you have to get to that place at all, but what I'm saying is that as you utilize your gifts and your talents and you share them in the world, just envision in your mind, just close your eyes for a second and envision that the room you're in, whatever it is, the whole wall all around you is just filled with screens and pictures of people that are getting a gift in life, or being able to love their life, or maybe they start loving something about, like, Wendy's always going on adventures. Maybe they start loving adventures, but you were the catalyst that began that love, that ability to stretch out, right? So just imagine, as you've got your eyes closed, that all of those people are there, and they have had something change in their lives because you said something, you did something, right? The sphere in Vegas. Yes, yes, reaching people. Yeah, it's amazing when you think, because it's like, when you think about it, and this is, I don't know what is wrong of the analogies I keep coming up with, but anyway, Zig Ziglar tells this story about kicking the cat, and if you've never heard it, um, it is a little metaphor thing that he created, and I'll probably butcher it, but that's okay, right? That's the thought that counts. So he says, let's say, for instance, he said, this gentleman is a big CEO and he's at work, and something happens and he calls in his managers and he gives one of them a really hard time. He really reams him big because he didn't do something he was supposed to do. So then he goes back and gets one of his employees and he does the same thing to him. He reams him hard because heck, he just got it. Let me share it with him because I'm sure it's his fault. And so then it goes on and on and on throughout the day. Well, then the last one that got really reamed about whole this thing, right? He goes home and him and his wife get into this huge argument because he's already frustrated and aggravated. And then they have a little boy, and this little boy asks for something, and his mom's already pissed off. So she yells at the little boy, and the little boy walks out of the house and goes over to where the cat is, and he just kicks him. And so he says that it would have been better if that first guy, that CEO, had just gone home to this man's home and kicked that cat himself, because he created all these things that came down to the little boy kicking the cat. But let's take that in a different way, right? So not only does being in a bad mood affect people on down, right? But being in a good mood affects people too. So let's say you go to the grocery store and the cashier is having a really, really bad day, and you call her by name or him by name, them by name, whatever. And you have a conversation as you're checking out. You give them a blessing. You say, thank you so much for doing such an amazing job. And I know it's hard to be here on a holiday or whatever the heck the story is, right? And the next customer that comes up, they're nicer. And then that person was having a bad day. And because this cashier was so nice to them, when they leave, they feel a little bit better. So then when they get home, they're a little bit nicer to their spouse, who's a little bit nicer to their child, who's nicer to the cat. So it goes all the way around, right? It's all the things that we do affect others, whether we really recognize it or not. So let me get to our affirmation. You should know what it is already. Hold on, I have to copy and paste here. So our affirmation is, it's bigger than me. It is so much bigger than me. So see, with that, what I just talked about, being bigger than me can be just being kind to someone, right? Because that can affect their day and everyone they interact for the rest of the day. So do you see that? I mean, we have so much power within us, whether it's our gifts and talents or just being kind, and that can be a gift and a talent in itself. Some people, my mom used to say, some people were just weaned on a sour pickle, is what she would say. That she said God himself would not please them. And because there are some people that are just perpetually unhappy, and they want to make sure that everybody knows it and that they affect everybody in the same way. But we are flipping that coin, because there are polar opposites of every single thing. So for every extremely nasty, ugly person, there's the polar opposite, right? And I choose to be the polar opposite. Hello, good morning, Laura. So this is bigger than me. It's bigger than you. Doesn't that feel good to think of that we are sharing our spirit, our persona, our vibration? We are doing all of these things because it's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. We can affect the world. Like we've talked, remember? We've talked about the fact that those Tibetan monks could actually sit in meditation and prayer for a demographic of whatever country that was having such a hard time, and that they could actually affect the amount of what was it? It was violence in the area. Now, they did that as collectively, right? But we have that power too. If we decide today that it's bigger than us and that we can really hone in on what our vibration is and we can vibrate that out into the world, oh my gosh, think about the power that we have to help, right? Because so many people, now let's just be bluntly honest right now. There's a lot of crap that goes on in the world, right? And I mean, a lot of people are so upset with all the political stuff and everything. And, if you're one of those, God bless you, right? I am not, because the way I feel about things, I don't watch the news, because if I can't immediately affect it and it's not immediately relevant to me, then knowing about it and stressing about it does not help a damn soul, right? Because the stressed vibration that you have, it alters the vibration around you, right? And so it's not to say that I never get stressed. Heck yeah, I get stressed. But the gift that I'm giving you right now is that you don't have to stay there. You don't have to live in that stress place. You can feel it and then come out on the other side. Remember, there are polar opposites of everything. The law of polarity is big. It is huge. Yes, it is bigger than me. Yes, Laura. And I mean, the more I think about this, the more excited I become, recognizing that I can affect things however I choose. So if I want to drive down into that rabbit hole of despair and anger, or I can, right? But I don't want to. It doesn't serve me, and it certainly doesn't serve anybody else. But I also give myself grace, and I give myself permission to feel it if it comes, right? To feel it and then just allow it to move through me and out. Because holding on to it doesn't help me at all. And I can't help anyone else in that place. Hello, Wendy. Oh my gosh, we got some Wendy's in the house again, don't we? I love it. So just think about, how does it affect you when you think this is bigger than me? Did I explain it well? Do you understand? Do you have any questions? Hold on. Let me bring this up so I don't keep looking down at my phone. Every time I visit the spa on the ship, they gave me a paper to ask me about my health, and they asked me why I do what I do to lower my stress. Haha. I say cruise. I love that. I love that. So, what about the other Wendy's and Laura? So, what say you? Do you believe it's bigger than you? And if you believe it, just let me know. And then I'm going to go to the journal prompt. Let's see. I think this might be too big. Hold on a second. Let me take that out. Copy. And let's just see what happens. All right. Sure. Beautiful. All right. So hold on. I gotta grab this. It doesn't look that big when you put it over there. Hold on a second. I've got to let me get back over here and see what's happening. This perspective is humbling and energizing. It's so easy to fall into a trap of being focused on the self in a way that is critical. Yes, Laura. Yes. And it is so interesting to me how we good morning, Lynn, how we magnetically bring people to us. And sometimes it's just to open up something that we know that we've forgotten, right? So like yesterday when I had that guest on my podcast, there was some of the things that we talked about were things that I know, but it's not that I forgot them, but it's like we can't have everything in our mind constantly, right? We only get the 2,000 bits of information per second that we can see, right? And so I noticed when I was talking to her that it was an amazing light that, oh my gosh, I haven't been thinking about this, not in this way anyway. And so um, it is so much bigger than me. And recognizing that really helps me to see why I do some of the things that I do, right? All right, so let me see how. Da, da, da. All right, I'm trying to make this shorter so it will actually share. Da, da, da. Don't you love my sound effects? All right, now let's see if it'll show. Hold on. All right, so let's see if it'll let me edit. Oh, wait. Delete comment. Delete comment. All right, so now let's see if I can get it to pop up. All right, so that last thing, it would not let the difference. So just know that says difference, okay? So the journal prompt for today is reflect on a moment when you felt part of something greater than yourself. And write about how embracing this sense of purpose can guide you in your current journey and help you make a difference, right? And so that current journey could be that you're just wanting to be kind to others. It doesn't have to be this astronomical big thing, right? Everything we do makes a difference. Everything. And so even to the point of, you know how we can rehearse things in our head sometimes. It's, we want to have a conversation with someone, and we'll have the conversation in our head for a long time before we ever have the conversation with the person, right? I have felt things greater than me. Yes, Wendy. And so the thing is that as we do that, we're usually rehearsing how they're going to say something, and we want to retaliate, or we want to tell them our side, right? It's usually some kind of angst that we're trying to get across, right? In our minds. And so we've talked about this part before too, is that even in that part, we can make a difference if we will change the perspective a little bit and maybe practice the conversation going exactly a powerful conversation for each person, right? And it's takes some practice to do that, and you're not going to do it every single time. Heck, I don't. There's like yesterday I was thinking about a conversation that I needed to have with someone, and I was having all of the conversation. It was me and me and me and me, right? And then all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute, I'm practicing this going the wrong way. And I know this stuff, right? I've been working with this stuff for a very long time, and you may know this stuff too. The thing is that we still have to sometimes remind ourselves the more powerful way to do things, right? And so, like Abraham Hicks says, when something starts happening like that, you say, "Oh, I can say this better." And then you just retrace your steps back and you start again. And so it's looking at all the things that we do and how can we be more mindful in our interactions with others, more giving to others. How can we notice and see something greater than ourselves? And can you reflect, when have you been part of something that's bigger than yourselves, that you can just all of a sudden you can think about it and you know that's true? Hold on, let me look at it over here. When you have these events, you feel connected to events and people, and you can feel a sense of awe. Yes. Yes, Wendy, that's beautiful. I love that. And there have been a lot of times that I've been reminded that things are bigger than me. And especially like when I have, like, just let's say, for instance, this group of people. And I've had some of you guys that have reached out and said, you've changed my life. This is amazing. I'm so grateful for this community and all of those things, right? But every time someone says that or acts like they have some kind of insight about something because of something that I've said, I know my purpose is so much bigger than me. And God gave me the thought to begin this journey with the fact that I was so heavy, right? I started this journey because I was so tired of being fat. That's how I started on this. So just think, if I hadn't been fat, would I have ever made this choice? Maybe, maybe not. Good morning, Kimmy. And so, like I say, quite often, that if we can look at the things that have happened in our lives that we feel were against us, or we feel were hard, or why did that have to happen to us, and why always me, any of those thoughts, if you can look at those things and see they were there for a purpose, they were there to create the you that you are now, right? So if I hadn't gone through that journey of being heavy and feeling so low and feeling completely out of control and not liking myself, if I hadn't been in that place, and I'd been there for quite a long time too, right? But if I hadn't been in that place, I might not be here today. And I love this. I love the fact that I wanted to learn these things, that I felt compelled to learn these things. Wendy says, the choir I'm in, the closer we get to concert, we feel connected and close. We feel the sense. Yes. Oh, Kimmy, you're down 24 pounds. Beautiful. I love that. But so you see, all of these things that we deal with, I mean, and some of them are really big. But to be honest with you, anything we deal with, to us, it's really big. Somebody else might look at it and say, well, that's not a big deal. but it doesn't matter what other people say or what other people think. It's our journey. But so I'm grateful that I had all of that happen so that I could be here now. And there's so many other things, and I share some of the things every now and then, but there's so many things that I've dealt with in my life that at the moment, and especially early on, the things that I dealt with, I was in deep despair, right? Beautiful, Wendy, beautiful. My clothes are starting to get too big. And you know what's funny as you say that, when I was first beginning this journey with the weight, releasing the weight and doing all that stuff, and I started getting where my clothes were too big, I thought, I am not spending a lot of money on these temporary clothes because I'm not going to stay in this size for too long. So I started thrifting because I thought, I don't mind paying $10 for a shirt that ends up I only wear it for a couple of months. But I didn't want to spend $50 for a shirt that I would wear for a couple of months and then just donate it out, right? And and maybe I would make a different choice now. I have no idea. Um, the thing is that we can choose what we're doing, right? But I love that you guys are feeling the feels and getting some of the weights coming down, and the happier you get with yourself, the more that's going to happen. It's just a beautiful process. And I love it when it's a process that it's not hard. It's not like strict. It's not like, oh my gosh, I can no longer eat this. Because hell, I've lost weight many times where I lost a lot of weight. But was I happy in the process? Did I feel deprived all the time? Did I feel sad and angry and angst because of my place in my life? Hell yeah. And that's not how I want to live. That's why it was so important to me to start learning these things so that I could make a difference in my life and other people's lives. Yes, Wendy, yes. Feeling great. And as I relaxed into the fact that not everybody's supposed to be a size 6, and that I didn't really like the way I felt and looked when I was a size 6. And I only got there once, I'll be perfectly honest with you, except maybe twice because I did it on the way up, right? But I'm good. And like right now, my body, does it look exactly the way I'd like it to, or my envision of it? No. But I'm okay with that. As long as I feel good, I happily worked out on the ship. Yes, yes. It's funny. The last cruise that I went on, I went every day to the gym, and then I would walk the decks and things like that. And one of the people that was in our group that was there said, "Oh my gosh, give it a rest. You're on vacation." I said, "Yeah, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing something that is not for vacation." It was just interesting. And so it's funny how, you know, people will chastise you for doing it too much, and then people will chastise you for not doing it enough. So you have to do what works for you, right? And so back to our affirmation. This is bigger than me. And all of it is bigger than me. Everything you do. Oh, so juicy when you think about it. So delicious to think that everything you do helps God, helps people, helps you, the vibration of the planet. Man, oh man, what do you think? It's magical. It's glorious. And so today, put this on your sticky note, your index cards, a screensaver on your phone somewhere, and just really internalize this today. So as you're going through your day, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, if you're on a live, if you're in front of a client, if you're at work and you're around your boss, whatever it is, just remember Remember my story about kicking the cat, right? And so you don't want to be the one that kicks the cat. You want to be the one that helps the little kid cuddle his kitty. I walked the whole walking path for an organized walk for charity. Yes, yes, yes. So you either get to be the one that has that little boy kick his cat, or you can be the one that makes him hug it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about because you didn't get here earlier, just go back and watch the replay. And so this is beautiful because it is bigger than me. And then let's get to our journal prompt. Reflect on a moment when you felt part of something greater than yourself. And remember, it's all greater than us. And write about how embracing this sense of purpose can guide you in your current journey and help you make a difference. So it could be something huge or it could be something small, because remember, it's a 1% change every single day that creates exponential growth. So you've got this. You've got this. So today, make sure you get out your notebook, intrigued. So does that mean you didn't hear the kick the cat story? So when you put the date on your, you do it on your, in your journal or your notebook, wherever it is, you put the date, the affirmation, and the journal prompt, because they go together, right? I love to put these things together so that it expands us a little bit more. And then you just take some time to sit in silence and contemplate this journal prompt. And then just brain dump everything that comes up. And just let it flow out of you. Don't judge it. Just let it go. And then you can come back in a week, a month, 6 months, whatever it is, and just look and see, what was it that you could see that was greater than you? And what was this sense of purpose? And how can you make a difference? And as you look at that in 6 months, let's say, you're going to notice that a lot of those things are still relevant in the moment, but you've really expanded them and you've become such a person knowing that it is bigger than you, right? Make a difference today. Beautiful, Wendy. Beautiful. All right. So it's time for me to close up shop, so to speak, and get to my clients. And so just recognize today how glorious it can be that it is bigger than you. And you can make a difference in every person you connect with today, no matter who they are, no matter how big the interaction or how small the interaction is. You do make a difference every single day. Right? My pleasure, Carrie. My pleasure. So just spend your day gloriously knowing that it's bigger than you, and you can just expand your vibration of amazing, amazing inspiration of some kind with every person you come in contact with. Or as Wendy said, make a difference today because you can. All right. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Mwah.